Okay. Hello, are we here? Can you see me? Everyone, I know we had some technical difficulties, but you know what? We're not defeated, right? Let me know. Put it in your comments that you can see me. Um, oops, sorry. Let me know if you can see me so I don't do my whole spiel and no one can see me. So let me know. How's everyone doing today? It is Monday, and we are doing this thing called Insights with Latrese. Today is the launch day, and you know what? Yes, we had some technical difficulties, but we're going to move past that. It's life. It's what happens. But we got to move past it because I'm still excited for today. I'm excited for the fact that I get to bring a whole nother season to you guys. And we can talk real good because we're going to talk about real life, real you, and again, real good. So I'm just going to tell you what to expect for this season. I'm so excited because I feel that this season is really, it just really shows where I am in my season of life. And I think that it's going to really just capture the audience, you guys' attention. You guys are going to get some information. And the biggest thing I want you guys to do when you listen or to my podcast, or if you're watching me on Facebook Live, that you walk away with a takeaway. So it's not just, entertainment, but you really walk away with knowing or getting something from me, from what was said by maybe a guest or something that I said. So let's just talk about it. You know, before we had the issues and you couldn't see me, I was asking how you guys are doing. How are you feeling? What's going on with you? How are you handling this COVID-19? You know, Rona is very disrespectful. Let's just talk about it. And she has wreaked havoc on our nation. But how are you doing mentally, emotionally, physically? How are you doing? Tell me the truth. Put it in my comments. I want to know what's happening to you. Are you okay? My extrovert people, how are you handling not being able to hug nobody but yourself? How's that going for you? How's that working? Because here's the crazy thing. People think that I'm extroverted, and I am, but I actually am both. Every assessment I take, I'm 1 point away from 1. So I may be 59% extroverted in one assessment. So that would make me what? 41%? No, that doesn't make sense. Okay, I did graduate. Hold please. Okay, I'm just one point away from. Anyway, I'm both. Let's just say that. I am both. I'm very publicly extroverted, but I am privately introverted. Hey, Katrina, how are you? I'm so glad you're here. So how are you doing? How's everyone that your loved ones, how are they doing? How are you coping with this? Tell me what you guys are doing. Oh, thank you. I know. Listen, I've been wearing this thing for the last week. I know, so it's usually right here, but I thought I would be fancy and put it back here because let me tell you, I need my hairdresser. And I am a bootleg hairdresser, but there's something about when you can't go, it just stifles you. So you don't want to see what's up here. But you know what? If you push me, I might show you. So Katrina, you're trying to stay sane, right? I get it. We all are. And here's the thing about this situation. And before we had to get cut off the first time, the thing about the reason why today's my launch day, but last week you saw some episodes, because I want us to deal with what's happening. I want us to be honest and transparent, right? Because that's the only way we're going to get through this. Do you see what I'm saying? So if I'm acting like, oh, everything's so great. Listen, you can't leave. How's everything so great? Now, you can look at the fact that you're blessed. You got a home to be in. You got your loved ones with you, right? So we're not gonna, minimize that. But today I had to get out and I had to go get some gas first. And I'm gonna tell you, it was so weird. It was like humans. Wow. Humans that don't look like me. Because, I got the 4 people, them little women in my house, and my husband, right? And but to see people like, wow. And you could tell we all were kind of looking at each other like, oh wow, you're a human. And so yes, some people have lost their jobs, and I am praying for them. So we have to be very cautious of not being so down, but we do have to deal with our emotions, if that makes sense. So last week, what you saw was not the launch. It was special edition Insights with Latrese, and I'll be bringing them while we're going through this this pandemic, because I think it's important that we talk about different issues. Like last week, go back to my podcast or go back to my Facebook Live. I talked about, how to deal with it mental health wise. Because listen, I'm going to tell you, if you was on the edge already of some mental challenges, this could really throw you off, right? And so we talked about that, and we're going to talk about it every week, because mental health, I'll get into it, but mental health is something that is always kind of brushed off or minimized, and we really got to deal with that. Then we talked about, what did we talk? Oh, how to handle families. Kanisha, I saw you posted about how you fell out, because we think this is homeschool. It's not. It's crisis school. So it's going to be different. Do you see what I'm saying? So we have to manage it differently. And then, of course, I wanted to make light, or at least bring some laughter, some joy to our situation, because even in the midst of a storm, you can find joy. You can find laughter. And so that's why Rodney was last Friday. And so hopefully, if you have not watched it, I even had to watch them a couple of times, and I was in it. But it was just some great information, right? And she said, school is too much. It can be in this type of situation. Because I have homeschooled, like literally officially homeschooled years ago. And this is crisis school, as Makita said last week. It's 2 totally different type of schooling. I'm going to be real honest with you. So anyway, that's why you saw what you saw and what you will see here in the future. But this is my launch day. So let's talk about Insights with Latrese. What are we expecting this season, right? So I talked about real life. That's my tagline. Real life, real you, real good. So let's break it down. Real life. She said, I'm not a good teacher. Listen, you are. Are them babies still breathing? You a good teacher. Real life. This season, I talk about all types of topics, but I really want to bring in mental health like never before, because I want to take the stigma off of mental health and bring awareness and help people truly understand mental health. Mental health and mental illness are 2 different things, and we try and put them together and clump them together, and they're not. And so we got to really understand what we're dealing with, because I feel if you understand your mental health, You'll understand your triggers. You'll understand why you default to certain things depending on what the situation is. You'll understand your trauma better. You'll understand you better. And when you are self-aware and when you understand who you are, you can be a better person. You can operate at your highest potential. So we're really going to tag mental health and break it down. There's a lot of times where we are misdiagnosed or underdiagnosed. And so I've taken that journey of social services and then really actually focusing on mental health because I want to know why I do some things. I want to understand my trauma. And the thing about it, especially in my Black community, we sweep it under the rug. You have trauma 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And because we're not equipped to deal with it, we just act like it doesn't exist. But let me tell you, it does. It manifests as an adult it'll manifest some way. Whether it's you're bitter, whether you're mean, whether you sleep around, whether you drink a lot, whether you become an addict, it manifests. So you have to deal with your mental health. And so that's definitely something we'll be tapping into. I'll have therapists. And with me going on this journey, and I will say and admit, I have a therapist and I've had one for several years now. And my mentor told me for you to be a therapist, which I will be pursuing, you have to have a therapist. You have to have someone to talk to. And so that's important. But another mentor told me this. Therapy, and we don't like to talk about therapy because, again, you think you're crazy. No, that's not what therapy is. Let me tell you what therapy really is. Therapy is when, like, you know how you have a car, you go get the oil change, go get the filters replaced, right? Nothing's wrong with the car, but you want to take care of the car so it can last longer, all that good stuff, right? That's what therapy is for us. It's not necessarily that we always need it, but just to keep it in maintenance because life will come at you and sometimes it will knock you all the way out. Something you never even saw before. You like, what just happened? Like this pandemic. Who thought that we could not leave the house? Who would have thought that would have ever happened? And that does mess with you mentally. I am reading and studying how some people have taken their lives based on the stress of this pandemic, whether they've lost their jobs or if they're in some type of financial strain. So this is nothing to play with. So I will be dealing with mental health, but I'm also going to deal with healing, forgiveness, suicide. That's an all-time high again, and that's before the pandemic. I want to talk about raising kids. Who has the key to that? Help me. So we're going to talk about that. Just real life situations, not necessarily issues, but just things about life that we need to deal with, okay? But it's not going to be all heavy. We're going to have fun. We're going to have a good time, right? We're going to talk about my favorite topic, sex. Yes, we are. We are going to break that thing down. Okay. We're going to talk about love because I love to be in love. We're going to talk about the business side of things, entrepreneurship, leaders in your community. Then we'll go into singlehood. I was single at one point, single with kids. So there's no topic off limit. None. And if you have a topic you want me to talk about, please send it my way. DM me if you don't feel comfortable putting it in the comments. Send it my way so we can deal with it and talk about it. Because I know we need to talk about, and one of my special additions with this COVID-19 is talking about relationships, how your husband and wife, how y'all doing? How y'all working this out? Being right up under each other. Let's talk about it. And the thing is, as we are dealing with these topics, we are going to get real answers, because those real answers will help you be the real you, whether that's healing, whether that's forgiveness, whether that's just revelation, right? So, and we want to be the real us, the real you, because the real you will allow you to operate at your highest potential, how God planned this thing, right, for our life. And so with that, that's my other part of my tagline, the real you. Let's get to the bottom. You're going to see me very vulnerable on some of these topics, because I can't ask you to be vulnerable and I'm not vulnerable. So you'll see me, everyone will see me vulnerable, and I'm good with that, because I'm all about healing. I'm all about getting revelation, bettering myself. And then the last thing is real good. Let me go ahead and tell you about real good. So I say that a lot, and I did not realize that, love your picture. I believe it's Louis Armstrong. Oh, yes. I didn't even realize that was there. I say real good. So I can say, oh, I love her dress. Real good. Oh, I love Mexican food. Real good. Oh, she cute. Real good. Oh, he's fine. Real good. I don't know where I got that, but it stuck with me, and I say it all the time. So everyone around me says real good. So I needed just to add that in there. That's all. Nothing real deep. So that's my tagline. So that's part of it, real good, because this podcast is going to be real good. Trust me on this. I kid you not. So with that said, I just want you to have an expectation for this podcast. I want you to listen, because listen, we're on Spotify podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Like I said, I'll be doing it from Facebook Live. I'll be going over to Instagram as well and doing it in its IG. Isn't it IGTV? I'm learning. I got the peoples telling me what. Making me look good. And so I want you to be a part of the community, part of the tribe, and follow me. And let's take this journey together. I'm telling you, it's going to be fun. One thing about me, you might ask, why do you do Insights with Latrese? And I said that in the last season. I have always been that person who asks questions. And I like to know, and I always cross the line with the question, not out of judgment or disrespect. I just want to know. And typically, what I want to know, everyone else wants to know. They just have common sense not to ask. I don't. I'm going to ask you. And what I have found in that, with me being honest and transparent myself, when I ask people questions that usually is a boundary marker, they find themselves sharing with me. And I've gotten so many times, oh my gosh, I did not mean to tell you that. Why am I sharing this with you? I've never shared this with anyone. And so I knew that God had blessed me with something, a special gift. And I just like to know. I just like to know how you think, why you think, what happened to make you think that way. Some of my friends tell me all the time, when they're around me, they know they're going on the couch. Again, it's just who I am. I just start asking questions. A comment can happen, something very random, and there you go. Here's Latrese asking these questions. And I've always been that person all my life. So that's why when I was on TV doing the hosting, it was second nature for me, because it's what I do. Ask Olivier. In the mornings, let me tell you what he does. I get up ready to ask questions, and I live with them. And sometimes if he goes to the bathroom and I'm up, I'm ready to say something, and he'll say, I'm not ready to talk. That's how much that I'm always asking questions. The girls, ask any of the girls, they're like, Mom, I don't need counseling today. I don't need to answer any questions today. So anyway, that's how Insights with Latrese was birthed, because I like to know, and I like to share, and I like to share my journey as well, because we're always evolving. And so with that said, Make sure you tune in. I will be on tomorrow with a special guest. You'll see the graphic this evening. But before I go, I want to say this to all the frontline workers, the essential workers. Thank you. I have a sister-in-law who's a doctor. I have a sister who's a nurse, a cousin who's a nurse. I have a husband who's an essential worker. And so from the bottom of my heart, I just want to thank you before I close this podcast out. Your sacrifice, your commitment, your love, man, there's no words to describe how we appreciate it, so that this world can continue to move and continue to go forth. Thank you. Thank you for your sacrifice. And so I appreciate you. I love you. Please, when you watch me on live or on podcast, go ahead, share it. Tell your friends about me. Because that's all you can do. You can't go to nobody's house. So text somebody and tell them, listen, you need to tune in tomorrow and talk to Latrese as she talks to someone else. Right? Let's do it. Why not? So before I go, discover yourself, connect with yourself, and then express yourself. And that just simply means self-awareness. Start from within and come without. And then be who God has called you to be and who God's created you to be, because I'm always going to be me. I can't be anyone else, and I do me pretty good. How about that? Boom. So thank you for your patience. Thank you so much, because we kind of had a oops, but you know what? That happens in life. What do? You recover, and that's what we did. So I'll see you tomorrow. Blessings.